a significant step in exploring some of the most prestigious professional qualifications in the fields of accounting and finance. We are truly honored to have with us Mr. Sripal Jain, the founder of Simandhar Education, as our distinguished speaker. A visionary leader and mentor, Mr. Jain has been instrumental in guiding countless students and professionals towards successful global careers. His insights will not only introduce you to the immense opportunities these qualifications offer, but will also motivate you to set ambitious goals for your future. Today's session is designed to give you a deeper understanding of how these globally recognized programs can compete your academic journey and open new doors across industries and geographics. On behalf of MAHE Bengaluru, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Sripal Jain and each one of you. Let us look forward to an engaging and enriching session ahead. I would like now to welcome Professor Prabodh Nayak to say a few words.
Good afternoon, students. Yesterday we had orientation for ACCA program, and today we are going to introduce to you 3 different courses, that is USCMA, Enrolled Agent, that is EA, and also CPA. As far as CPA is concerned, if you are doing BCom honors for the 4 years, then at the end of the 4th year, you will be eligible for CPA. But again, procedure for that will be starting from maybe your 3rd year also. MCom students who are there, MCom students will be having a great opportunity to go into the CPA syllabus and start with the CPA career immediately after that 1st year. So coming to our guest over here for the day, that is Mr. Sripal Jain, who is a chartered accountant and a licensed CPA holder. I have a personal experience with working with him also, and he's a very close friend of mine. Simandhar is a place where I have done my CPA from. As you must be knowing that I'm having multiple qualifications, and the CPA and CMA are one of the qualifications which I've done from Simandhar. I had a great time as a student at Simandhar, as well as working with Simandhar as a faculty member. Also, I was having a wonderful experience with Sripal Jain sir. The reason for my relationship with Sripal Jain sir is because we are on the same page, and we have the same concern for students. And both of us are student-centric from our approach. We will do anything to achieve that success from the students. That is, we want the students to succeed in their career, in their profession. Sripal Jain sir has got a large amount of contacts as friends, as business partners, and as students all over the world. He has traveled 5 continents, not countries, and he has been awarded as one of the best faculties for CPA. Wonderful person, and as I know him, he has never compromised with the quality of education. We had several opportunities to get multiple people here for this particular course, for CMA, CPA and all that. But I personally felt that Simandhar is one of the best places where a student, Manipal students, can be actually going and learning. Because here I can guarantee that quality will never be compromised. So that is something which I have seen as a student. That is something which I have experienced as a faculty at Simandhar before joining Manipal. So you are now going to experience a wonderful experience with Sripal Jain sir, who is one of the best, I would say, in the industry. Not because he's my friend, but because his concern for students, his concern for quality education is never ending. And to some extent, when I was a faculty, I can recollect a few moments when Sripal Jain sir had pulled me up also for a few things which students had complained about. Complained in the sense, made a remark that, this can be improved, that can be improved. So a faculty like me, an experienced faculty like me also is not spared at Simandhar if it is found that students are having an issue. So that guarantees quality for students. And I can say that as a student of Simandhar and also as a faculty of Simandhar. So now I welcome Mr. Sripal Jain to take the stage and guide us through the 3 courses and the details about the 3 courses and how to achieve success and also motivate us for performing to our level best and how Simandhar and Manipal together can take you to great heights. Both are brand names. Manipal is a brand. Simandhar is a brand. So both brands coming together in collaboration with your education, with your career, I think you can go places. Welcome, Sripal sir.
Check.
Hello. Okay, hi everyone. So I know a lot of things have been spoken about me. So the bar is normally very high when people keep talking about you, so they expect the same. Because there have been so many things spoken about me, some awards, some rewards. And yes, though I look like 21, unfortunately I'm not. So I'm 36 years old, having 2 kids. So that is what I would want to introduce myself with. We'll be talking about different courses today, different certifications. Having passed chartered accountancy at the age 21, and then doing CPA in the US at age 24. So these qualifications have been predominantly one of the major success factors of my personal brand, the way I do my things, the jobs what I got in Big Fours and MNCs. So I'll be taking ahead of all those things what we'll be talking about today. I'll not take much of your time. I know it's 1.5 hours. So I'll make it very short and crisp for you all, and so that we can interact more and you can ask more questions as well and make it more engaging as well, so that you kind of get to know a lot of things about our certifications as well, right? And people who are watching us, especially the parents as well. And it will be a good session to kind of interact with all of us and understand how these certifications have added value in your career and would be adding value to your career as well. So if you see what US is facing currently, I think you might have been hearing a lot of buzz about the US market as such, with Donald Trump coming in news very frequently, talking about a lot about different countries and his tariff measures. I know some of them who are reading a newspaper a bit. How many of them are reading newspapers on daily basis? Please raise your hands. Okay. How many of them have read newspaper in last 1 year? At least one day. Okay. Cool. When I'm talking about newspaper, I'm talking about e-version, whether it be a ET Now app. So now let's see on the digital WhatsApp University, how many of them have read in that digital ET Now app? So how many of them have the ET Now app on your mobile? Please raise your hands. Okay, that's quite surprising because you're in the commerce field. Technically, we normally look for people who are kind of tracking the news, stock market and all. So anyone who's tracking the stock markets, just for fun's sake and all those stuff, please raise your hands. Okay, so we have good amount of audience, or I would say considerable amount of audience, who's tracking the markets as well. So these courses are more about investing, more about finance, more about what you could do in the future, because you have seen the biggest disruption which have come in the industry. Can you tell me what has disrupted now in technology? Anyone? It is artificial intelligence which have disrupted the entire, I would say, the way we used to think. So now the world has moved from doers to thinkers more. Now we are moving to what questions are asked. That is what is becoming important these days than what answers you look for, right? So now we are moving in a ChatGPT world where everything is getting automated and BCom is just not sufficient. So when you're going even for an MCom or an MBA, typically even if you go for IIMs or ISBs and all, because I've been a visiting faculty at different B schools as well, addressing over 700 to 1,000 people every now and then, typically we see that what professional qualifications you have, they normally take that a very, very important pointer, even when you go for interviews and all. Whenever you're going for a group discussions or any of those things, these professional qualifications become extremely important. Because they think that if he is just a BCom and this guy has a BCom plus say X and Y, typically they are preferred more than just being a graduate. So here what we are talking is graduation is not sufficient, and that's the reason why Manipal have brought in different professional qualifications, whether it be ACCA, CPA, CMA, or it might be other professional certifications also which you might want to do like CFA and all, which we don't provide. But yes, I do normally advocate that is also one of the very, very good courses as well. Typically it is done at BCom final year levels or post BCom, because CFA is also considered to be a very recognized qualification. But these qualifications are very, very important because BCom, like I said, is just not sufficient with the way AI is coming up. Now, sir, what we have done at Simandhar is we have built something called as Digital Sripal, which is under my name only. So we have developed an AI which actually have automated this entire stuff. It has passed the CPA, CMA, exams with 95% accuracy. So that's a WhatsApp app, right? In that WhatsApp, the moment you put a question, you get your answers in seconds. So now consider an institute like Simandhar, which have automated the entire professional courses. We have also automated chartered accountancy there. You ask any questions of CA, any amendments, anything related to accounting, finance, whether it be CFA, SCA, CIA, EA, that bot have passed all the exam with 95% accuracy. So put any question, you get the answers in seconds. Just imagine, a couple of months before the exam and you want to contact a faculty and is not available at late night. And you want that damn answer to be definitely getting to you because you'll not sleep without getting those doubts clarified. Now you have a bot, you just need to put on WhatsApp and you get the answers in seconds. How is it different from ChatGPT? See, ChatGPT, the problem is you can ask a recipe also, it will give. But this is not the way. It's a very specified, it's a customized bot. It's not a generic AI. You're talking about specific AI. So it's a very trained bot because it has passed the exam and it can answer a variety of questions. It's as good as a 95% topper is explaining you. So you can understand what kind of intellect that particular software or the technology would have. And now we are trying to develop something called as shadow also in that. So that WhatsApp technically is more like a content driven. Now what would happen is my shadow also would come and explain, and that is the technology which we are currently working with. So what if a faculty comes up on a messaging system and answer your questions, how will it look like? Now, having almost like 100K followers on social media, typically students think that content creation is a very big field. Obviously, say suppose I post on LinkedIn, normally I get around 1 lakh rupees for one post on LinkedIn, right? Technically, I would not be able to do so because I have my own brand and I have my all followers as well. So I'd not want to promote that brand. But set aside, if I want to do something like that, if I want to start doing podcast and all, which normally we do with a lot of CFOs and top MNCs, this looks a very good field for a lot of people because content creation is a very, very good profile as well. Technically, what happens is, along with that also, you need to build credibility, else people don't follow you also. So you need to have the right qualification there as well. So wherever you go, a qualification becomes very, very important. And that's why we are talking in this session only about those professional certifications. Okay. Before we talk about CMA, CPA, I would want to kind of get understanding about what your understanding is about accounts. You tell me, where is salaries recognized in P&L account? Where do you plot salaries in P&L account? I'm hoping everyone have come from the relevant maths, economic, commerce background. So might have done some fundamentals of accounting. Where do you think salaries should be plotted in P&L account? Everyone? Some of them are saying as if they'll hit me. Where does salaries come into the P&L account? Why? Is salaries an expenditure or an asset? What do you think? Why? I'll come to the courses, obviously, because we have come for orientation. What do you think? Is salaries an expenditure or an asset? Why? Because? Okay. So we should recognize, is it? Okay. It's a recurring expenditure. Okay. What about others? Madan, you have the voucher ready, right? So we have a voucher ready for the people who answer this, the Amazon voucher. Let's see how many of them get this right. What do you think, guys? No chat GPTs. Don't lose integrity for small things. There are bigger things in life which you want to possess. Smaller things mein integrity khona is not a good thing. What do you think, guys? Why salary is debited to P&L account? It's a very easy question. It's an indirect expense. First of all, we are asking why is it an expense? Direct, indirect, recurring, non-recurring is secondary. First of all, why it is an expenditure? Is Prabodh an expenditure to Manipal? Is he an asset or is he an expenditure to Manipal? What do you think? Santosh sir, an expenditure to Manipal or an asset to Manipal? But then why are we recognizing as an expenditure? Now you are telling it's an asset. Then you are also telling it should be recognized. How can you have expenditure and asset both together only at one place? Basic concepts, first page of accounting. I didn't even start this qualification, just for information. Why person can't be an asset? Is there a rule that person should not be an asset? Okay. So then why did you recognize salaries if it's a financial part? Then that deals with a non-financial person, right? Why I can account? No, in numbers only, asset. How much ever I paid to Santosh sir, I can recognize that in asset or not? It can be measured or not. He's telling that this can't be measured. My argument is, can it be measured or not? Because you're paying him, so you have the measurement concept automatically, right? What do you think, guys? Okay. Why is closing stock credited to trading account? You write buy closing stock, right? Why? So it is taken carry forward, so I should write buy closing stock, is it? So it's telling next year we'll carry forward, so I'll write buy closing stock. Again, this we have done so many times or not? So many balance sheets we have done, so many trading accounts we have prepared. We have written buy closing stock on credit side or not? Okay. Why is capital on the credit side? On the liabilities side, you write shareholders' capital, right? Why? फिर बोल रहे liability. Why? Okay, so we should show it as a liability or is it an equity? Do we pay back to shareholders? Do we repay back? So share capital, is it shown in liabilities or is it shown in equity? So that means there is no logic of repaying back to the shareholders. But sir, dividends to pay karte hi. So that's okay. But at the time of liquidation, who is paid the last? Who is paid the last? You have seen the Vijay Mallya's podcast with Raj. Raj is my very good friend. So did you see him? Did you see when did he pay to the shareholders? He eventually actually ran off. So that's a secondary thing. But who's paid last? The equity shareholders. So anyways, it can't be a liability. But still we classify that, right? Okay. So this is what a professional thinks. This is what a professional exam looks like. And you are paid heavily for that only. That makes sense, everyone? This is the importance of professional courses in our life. The only difference between a graduate, right, or a BCom professional and a skilled professional is just that the way they think. And the world belongs to thinkers more. So I was with Adobe CFO. Yesterday I was there in their podcast and they have called, so normally we do our Brain Behind Billions podcast and they invited me to Adobe itself. And in their studio we were doing the podcast. And he was telling me some interesting insights. Even hiring what happens in Adobe or Google, they are closely watching the LinkedIn accounts. What all this person is doing on LinkedIn, which person is liking, which person is commenting. They're seeing their activities also and then they are started hiring the people. Why do they do that? Because they want to see the mindset of that person. Yeah, how does this guy think? What is his mindset? Which people he likes, which people he follows? What does he do in life? So this is how the entire HR team is now thinking at bigger companies. So we are not talking about smaller companies and all. We are talking about big fours. We are talking about top companies of the US, UK, and Europe. So typically, these are some of the strategies which they are doing to ensure that how people are thinking, because the world is shifting from doers to thinkers more. So how you think will decide how much you will be paid. So if you don't think, then it's a very, very big problem. So our entire intention of doing this session is just to ensure that 1 or 2 lines you just think after this session that is this something which we should do or not. Just take out some time, introspect, not because Sripal have come or someone else have come for ACCA or something like that, but this is a time. You need to see that here, is this something really required for my career or not? And because this is a very, very important thing as well. Now in my college days, there was no one who was counseling like that or who have guided me, right? Whatever I've understood was my elder brother kind of pushed me to do a chartered accountancy and I did it. Right? And even I did CPA just to meet my elder brother in the US. So I was like, okay, I want to do, because US CPA exams used to happen only in the US and Canada, Dubai that time. And then slowly, before Dubai, it was only in US. So I thought this is a good excuse to move to the US and meet my elder brother. And that's how I landed up doing CPA. And then there was so many US-based companies which have come. Now, these qualifications wouldn't have made a lot of sense 5 years, 6 years back when we were doing chartered accountancy because India was not global that time. Now, India is very much global. Now, a lot of US-based companies have come in India. They are right there in Bangalore itself. When you go to Bellandur, when you go to Marthali, everywhere you will see a lot of companies like this. You see Adobe, you see Honeywell, you see Microsoft, you see Google, you see Accenture, you see Capgemini, you see Genpact. So many of the US-based companies now here in India. So we are looking more for global qualification than local qualification. That's why global qualifications have become popular. For some reason, ACCA have become popular. Unfortunately, but we don't have a lot of UK and Europe companies here in India, but we have a lot of US-based companies in India, and that's how I placed almost 10,000 plus students in last 8 years, because we are like tied up with almost 250 plus companies. So when you see the following and all on LinkedIn and all, so there are a lot of people whom we have placed and all those stuff. So there was a Zomato delivery boy who used to deliver pizzas. We made him to do US CMA, placed him in Infosys for internship. He got full-time at Infosys, got the Best Debutant Award in Infosys, and after 2 years, he moved on to do an MBA from IIM Kozhikode. Because US CMA is considered to be a good qualification later to do an MBA as well. Because professional qualifications, like I said, becomes the differentiator. What is the differentiator between this and that person is only the professional qualifications, right? And that's how the perspective of the companies are changing. Sir, what have ensured that, can you give us some history why so many companies are coming to India? Obviously, in the US, there were like 300K people who have left the accounting profession. Why, sir? All of them want to do Instagram reels in the US. So half the people are gone from there. Second, people were like all are getting retired. They're all aging population. It is being said that 75% of the accountants in the US would retire by 2027. That shows that US is completely dealing with a crisis now. And most of the US-based companies, now they have opened up their shops and all in India. And that's why a lot of US companies are in India now. So now, if you see that, same goes with UK and Europe also. They are also facing the talent crisis currently. China adopted a population policy, unfortunately population control policy. And they are also dealing with the problem of aging, and same goes with Japan. Everyone knows that Japan has a aging population issues. And that's where all these companies now have got here situated, and that's where they are hiring a lot of these people and all at Big Fours. So you might see a lot of these companies coming to India and hiring a lot of the BCom people. They also sponsor for these qualifications like CPA, CMA, EA and all. Now, sir, what is CPA? Like we have in India chartered accountants, US chartered accountants basically are known as CPAs. Out of these three qualifications, CPA is considered to be the prestigious qualification in the world. It's one of the top qualification in terms of member body association. It's the largest accounting body in the world. Any guesses which is the second largest accounting body in the world? If AICPA is the largest accounting body in the world, having 7,35,000 members, any guesses which is the second largest accounting body in the world? Okay, next. Second largest accounting body, any guesses? It's our Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Bharat Zindabad, with 4,35,000 Chartered Accountant Member Body Association. So AICPA is the largest. And if you do a US CPA, technically we have placed a lot of students in the US with 75, 80 lakhs packages. So a lot of them after doing US CPA, they move to the US. They settle there because accounting I've got accepted in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And that's where this accounting degree also gives 3-year work permit visa as well. So suppose you have done a master's after doing CPA, you do a 1-year master's in the US, you get a 3-year OPT, meaning you can work in the US for 3 years. This rule have come like last year onward, and many of the students and working professionals are taking this route and going to the US and settling. Unfortunately, this year you might have seen with Trump coming, a lot of visas are getting rejected, but then still, this is a qualification. After they do, they go on for doing a master's and move around in the US, provided they should have some sort of experience here in India for at least 1 or 2 years, right? Okay, sir, what about how many subjects, how many sections, what all are there in CPA, right? So if you see that CPA technically you cannot do because till you don't complete the BCom, you're not eligible for CPA. So CPA requires a 4-year graduation degree. Normally, whenever you pursue this qualification and after completing it, typically the ideal salary starts from 10.5 to 12 lakhs package per annum, typically hired by big fours like Deloitte, EY, KPMG, RSM and all these people. So CPA is considered to be the prestigious qualification for these companies because they don't even promote people without having a CPA degree itself, right? So technically in Indian Chartered Accountancy or Indian accounting exams, you have over 20 subjects. Like I did my CA, normally I used to study like 16 to 17 hours on a daily basis. But for CPA, you don't require all those nuisance because there are only 4 papers in CPA. If you see in Indian Chartered Accountancy, there are different levels. You have CA Foundation, you have CA Inter, you have CA Final. But for CPA, you do not have any of those things. There are only 4 papers and you are getting a 12 lakh job. Matlab itana to effort, this much effort to someone can do it. It's just a 9 to 12 months. I would say certification. It's not even going to 4 years, 5 years. Just 4 exam and you get the US Chartered Accountancy and you open up doors to being a global citizen. Sir, then why like that? Why it is not like CA and all? The West doesn't test you. Their objective is not to fail you. The intent is not to make you fail. The intent is to test relevancy in the corporates. Because you will not study all 20 subjects when you go for a job. You'll only study 3 to 4 subjects and that are specialized. And that's why the West has their subjects very small. If you see CMA has only 2 papers. EA has only 3 papers. CPA has only 4 papers. When you compare to Indian cost accountancy, it has around 20 papers and it takes 5 years to complete ICAA. And normally US CMA takes a minimum of, say, even if you're a graduate first year, you should be easily be completing US CMA by BCom second year itself. Even if I go slow and study, there are only 2 papers for US CMA. CPA has only 4 papers. So even if I start in final year of BCom, I should be able to close by, say, MCom first year, I should be able to close all the CPA 4 papers and I should be ready with a big 4 job in my hands. Enroll agent, again, is also 3 paper exam, right? So all these are very small certifications, doesn't require significant efforts, can be easily completed along with BCom. They are not at all tough as well. Typically, if you see chartered accountancy, the pass percentage is 8% to 9%. So out of 100 people, 8 to 9 people pass, 91 people don't even pass chartered accountancy exam. Here, the pass percentage is minimum around 55 to 60%. Matlab if 100 people write this exam, 60 people pass this exam. So now, having said that, right, how many of them here, what are their plans? What are they thinking? What do they want to do along with BCom? So I started off with certification. I didn't even ask you guys, what are you looking for along with BCom? Anyone here? What is that you want to do along with BCom or post BCom? Did you thought about it? Any guesses? CFA, okay? CMA, CA, okay? ऐसे ही बोल दे रहे नाम मालूम बोल के या seriously you are planning to do business analytics? हाँ हो गया सुबह. So I am working 16 hours, okay? I can send my team also here. So normally I represent at various big forums. It's kind of little disrespectful when students sleep because I don't even need to do. I have 100 people employee team here at Simandhar. They can just come. There are a lot of big faculties, including Prabodh is also one of my student. Kind of disrespectful when you sleep because I hardly sleep. My sessions are at morning 4 a.m. Right at Simandhar. You can just glance through on YouTube. My students wake up at morning 3:30. 4 a.m. they are here. If you here are sleeping, I don't think so. What do you want to achieve in life? Because that shows the seriousness of a lot of people. There are a lot of people, there are two kind of categories of people, okay, in life. They come, they do time pass, maza, gave, fun. I was also like you guys. When I was at BCom first year, I was like this funny guy, all friends, all of them going on the road, doing time pass, doing all these things. But that was just a part of my game. I always knew that I also need to do equally different things because I'm responsible. I have a lot of big responsibility towards my parents because today when my mom walks on the road, she can proudly tell that my son is a chartered accountant. So when sometimes life is not for ourselves, life is always about others. So this is what my boss used to teach when I passed my CPT at age 17. So when I passed, I was doing my articleship. Those days I used to work 16 hours. I got that habit. I was very, very like you, right? Sleeping, time pass, 8:40, there was a stock audit happening. And the company name was Taj Hotel, where we were planning to do our stock audit. And Ratan Tata was there that time. A lot of those things because one of my firms got appointed, Brahma and Company. When the Satyam scandal happened also, Brahma and Company was appointed as internal auditor. We had a stock audit and I was there with all my friends. Funny, hey, aate, time pass. Like you guys are thinking. Time pass karega, 5-10 minutes, he'll talk some shit and he'll go off. I was also like you, TK, he'll come, do some gyanbazi about his courses and he'll go off. 8:39, I said like my bosses were there. I said, yeah, 8:40 a time. I'll see these guys because everyone used to tell these bosses they come sharp at 8:40. I like, let's see. It's very funny, 8:39 ho gaya and 8:40. There were two gentlemen who came out of Honda City car. One was aged 88 and one was aged 92. They were running and going to the office. They didn't even take lift. That was Brahma and Company. Now we lost our sir because he passed away during COVID. And I worked under those gentlemen and they never used to use calculator, guys. And they used to do all the ledgers also without even, they can count 6-digit numbers just by seeing the figures. So those kind of people, and 8:40, you can just see the time and I was like, man, this is what I want to become in my life. I want when people come, they should look up to me. That what kind of discipline, and that time and this time, all our classes at Simandhar and all, it starts at 6 o'clock morning. We started like 5:30, I take it up. Our revision classes, like I said, is at morning 4 a.m. 3:30, the classes start. And you will see all our 4 a.m. classes, there will be some CFOs coming, like McKinsey leader have come last week. We had State Managing Director coming up. All of them, they come, they want to meet us. They want to talk to me and all those stuff. They want to see how I have done the things. But I have been a great follower of my boss himself Because he used to come sharp at 8:39, 8:40, and that day I decided that this is the turning point of my life. This is not the life I want to live in, where I just come, do this, that, and go off. I wanted to be a person who can create an impact in someone's life, who can help others, who can do something for the society. I said I had enough of sleeping in my life. Again, not to mocking someone who's sleeping and all, it's very good, but at your age, this is the age to work really hard. This is the age to create an impact. This is the age to work 17, 18 hours. Not necessarily it should be counted in number of hours and all, or it should be counted in the measurement of quantity. But definitely you need to identify what is one thing which you like, and then you need to literally become mad at that one thing. You cannot be a person who's a dead human being who comes here and sleep and then go off. You better don't attend that, because your time is very, very valuable. And time is the most important commodity. It's an intangible asset, and there's a reason why it is an intangible asset, right? You don't want to waste it just because someone have forced you to do that, right? Like there are a lot of people, their parents are just forced because their parents are earning a lot. They're like, go and do some shit and get out, right? But there are people who want to really make an impact, who want to show that their parents that if they have sent me to this university, I will ensure that I give them back by 500% return. In fact, when I was doing my CA coaching, I never took a penny from my parents. That day also I decided that whatever money I get, I'll get it from my internship and I'll pay my fees. See, we have come from all lower middle class. Today we have 100 people. We have such big company with crores of revenues and all at Simandhar, so many students. I mean, so many things we have, but we have never ever forgotten, like Prabodh said. Today also, if any of the student or if any of the faculty comes late to the class, because that is a discipline, that is a value system what we have incorporated. This is not something which is picked up to show off something or to show how great we are or how good we are, but this is something which we have learned. This is something which we have got to learn from our seniors. And that is what we actually give it back to the society in the form of following the same discipline, same value system, similar things, right? So today's session, you need to decide, is this something which you really like? Don't do ACCA, don't do CPA, don't do CMA just because the other person is doing it. Because your interest, your passion will be easily be decided in 2 minutes. Because, see, understand that you are not even reading a newspaper. You're not even going through the figures. So you'll really need to ask yourself, is finance something which I like also? Right? Is this something, is numbers, do numbers even motivate me? Do numbers even make me feel interested? Then automatically things will come. You'll read a lot of books. You'll read a lot of stuff which is there, because the world is all about reading. And this professional courses demand a lot of learning, folks. Because when you will enroll in this qualification and when you will go into the big fours, they expect you to learn and upskill every day. And with AI world, none of them will get a job if they are just a graduate. Trust me. If they are just a BCom, you would be the last person, at least for me, to hire you. Because my entire 100% work an AI bot can do. So what is that value add which you are bringing to the table? So for me, value addition will become the biggest differentiator. And that's what I'm telling. If it's just a BCom, you need to pick up your skill. You need to understand here, what is that which I like? And if I am reading, I'm just coming and I'm not even thinking why closing stock is on credit side. Okay, there's a matching concept. You'll match your expenses with your income. So closing stock is credited to trading account. Why salaries is debited to P&L account? Because you can leave the company anytime. Today, Prabodh is with Manipal. Tomorrow, he might go to presidency or any university. Universities don't control Prabodh. So when you don't control an employee, he's no longer an asset, right? If you purchase a property, the ownership or the control is always with you. The property is in the name of yours. And that's why you classify that as an asset. When the controllership or the ownership is missing, obviously anything which is not recognized as an asset falls in an expenditure. Same goes with shareholders, right? If the shareholders' capital is on liability side, is on equity side, because we have something called as business entity concept. Your business is different and the person who runs is very different, right? So accounts is worked on certain concepts and conventions. I don't know which faculty have come and explained and all those stuff and all, but here, when you go into the professional courses, they will break you in interviews. They'll simply break you because you will not realize now the world is becoming so smart that interviewer also these days is putting in ChatGPT. What is the questions I need to ask him in finance? Arey boss, tell me 10 questions. My finance student is here. I need to interview him, and he'll put a prompt. Put 10 MCQs or 10 questions, 10 tough questions to him to crack the interview, and that ChatGPT will give him good 10 questions. And they'll ask you all journal entries, they'll ask you all why-related stuff. If you are turning a page without even understanding the logic behind that, then I don't think so these courses, or any of the courses for that matter, does it actually even make sense also, right? Because these courses require a complete polishing in the skills itself. See, there are a lot of institutes who might tell you to enroll, you will pass easily, this, that, and all. But like I said, passing is different, getting a job is different. You get a job when you have the skills, when you have the brains. There are a lot of people who might pass, but there are a lot of people who will study conceptually, who will understand the concept and apply those concepts to the corporate world. Right? So now, having said that, predominantly a professional course audience, 3 pro tips I would want to give you before you enter into this professional courses is to brush up your basics of accounting, basics of auditing, basics of taxation classes. We do give it at Simandhar. We have the basics of accounting, audit and tax for the people. So we explain you what is a journal entry, what is a debit, what is a credit, what is a ledger, what is a trial balance, all those stuff. After you complete that only, then you move on to your main professional courses which you want to select. It can be a CMA, it can be a CPA, it can be a EA. Technically, I normally recommend these courses because we have a lot of US companies. And I don't want to do a course where I don't get a job. So that's one of the reasons ACCA also we provide. But technically, I put that at the end because I don't find a lot of UK companies or Europe companies in India. And ideally, if anyone does a qualification, they want a job in India first. And that's why we kind of promote US-based courses because there are a lot of US-based companies, and that goes well with the students also because they want their ROI to be normally taken care of, right? So we explained about CPA, 4 sections. I'll not talk much about because all of those things are there in ChatGPT. You learn a lot about these courses there itself. I'll come back to US CMA, which is only a 2-paper exam, right? Financial reporting, strategic financial management. CMA, there are only 2 books. And EA, you have only 1 book. So you're actually reading only 2 books, which are quite technically dealing with costing, financial management, analytics, because everything is analytics driven because accounting is getting automated. And everywhere you will see a lot of value addition, a lot of analytics, a lot of insights coming into the play. So people who hate accounting normally go for CMA more than CPA. And people who love accounting, who want to get into audit, tax, and big fours, they technically go into CPA. CMAs, they go into FP&A, financial planning analysis, risk-based advisory profiles in big four. They normally don't get into audit or taxation profiles. Because you also know कि भाई ये qualification करने के बाद where do I get a job? That is most important. It's not about how many subjects, how many, those all information you will find it on internet. I am here to do some thought leadership, to put some thoughts here, where do we get the job and which companies will get the job after we do this qualification, because today's generation, like I am seeing a lot of my students whom I'm dealing, it's like over 50,000 students which we have at Simandhar. Their entire thing is not money. Their entire thing is what kind of quality work they will get. There can be 2 people at Simandhar whom we train. So there is one BCom people who just coming and doing a call center job after BCom. There are a lot of companies doing that. But are you okay to do the call center job, night shift and all those stuff? If you are, like there are few people who are sleeping, they normally go into call center. There also it happens the same. But technically, if you go into this and if you get, if I can do a professional qualification, I can get into a full-time job. And I can get into a normal front-ending job, having the opportunities to move to the US, UK and Europe. So you get opportunities in this big force to even move overseas also, because end of the day, you have done a overseas qualification. You have not done a local qualification. Understand that. So you need to decide that how you want to position this. Technically, if you see that after CPA, you get into audit, tax or advisory, or some of the people we have seen getting into mergers and acquisition and advisory profiles also. You will not get into management consulting because technically only MBAs get into that. Like say Boston Consulting or McKinsey and all, these people normally hire the MBA grads and all. They don't hire the ACCAs or CPAs or CMAs because you're predominantly doing only the accounting related work. Now, if CMAs are there, they might go into FP&A, they might go into cost accounting, they might go into cost analysis, they might go into core analytics profile. Sir, what is the last designation of a US CMA? They can become a CFO in the company. So they are the one who's handling the business finance of the organization. So if you want to become the CFO of any organization, then US CMA is your choice. If you want to become a partner in Big Four, normally like I was taking a podcast of Jamil Khatri in Mumbai. So Jamil is the youngest partner in Big Four. At the age 28, he had become the Big Four partner at KPMG. And his salary was 1.5 crore that time at the age 28. And I'm talking this about 15, 20 years back. That time, it's a huge money, right? So becoming a partner at Big Four is a big thing. And that also in KPMG and all. So his action plan was very simple that time also. So either you do this qualification and get into a Big Four like Deloitte, EY, KPMG, RSM, or get into the top 20 audit firms in the world. Technically, you get into audit and tax only after CPA. The third qualification which we are talking about is enroll agent, which is just a one book, and it's the qualification which is given by IRS itself. So this degree is not given by private body like AICPA, IMA, and all those stuff. Enroll agent is given by the US income tax itself. So, sir, can I open my own firm here in India with CPA or EA? 100% yes. We had a lot of my students who have opened their own US accounting and US tax firm. And they have hired 150 people. Two of my female entrepreneurs, right? She was 10 months pregnant and she have opened her practice with over 100 people. She have 3 offices in Ahmedabad. And she's doing all the US tax. I posted that on LinkedIn and it became viral with 2,000, 3,000 likes, around 200K impressions. With analytics, I'm talking about amazing success stories. That means you have entrepreneurial opportunities also in EA and CPA. So you can set up your own firm. You can bring the US tax work, US accounting work also to India. And you can set up your own practice also if you don't want to get into jobs. So job is like 3-4 years I want to work and then I want to open up something on my own. Then enroll agent and CPA does that. US CMA is predominantly job oriented. So you'll technically get into these companies and all US based companies. Ideally you will go into CFO levels, like I said, finance manager or finance heads and all. So normally you will go into that designation after doing the US CMA. Sir, what is the pattern of all these three? CPA, if you see, is 50% multiple choice and 50% of case laws are asked. Technically, they will give you, it's a computerized exam. You'll need to go to a Prometric test center like GMAT, how you have the CAT, GRE and GMAT. You'll need to go to a Prometric test center. Minimum you need to score is 75 in order to pass CPA. And in CMA, you need to score minimum of 75 to pass the exam. So there are 2 parts, part 1 and part 2 in CMA, right? You have 500 marks, 75% MCQ and 25% is essays in CMA. In CPA, it is 50% MCQs and 50% case law, that is also essays only, right? Then you have enroll agent, right? That is a 100% MCQ format. So you will not have any case laws in enroll agent exam. Sir, can enroll agents fight on my behalf? Can they represent IRS also? 100%. They can fight for their clients and they can represent before IRS. So EA has all the powers and in fact more powers than CPA in the US taxation field. They are considered to be the chartered accountants in US taxation field. So there is no beat. Like in India, you might be hearing about tax return preparers. Like we have chartered accountants who prepare the tax returns. You have the TRPs also who prepare the income tax returns, which are known as tax return preparers. Technically, these are the ones in the US, they are known as enroll agents, but TRPs don't represent before IRS. I mean, they don't represent before their clients in India. But in the US, you have the opportunity to represent before IRS also, right? That's why technically all these three qualifications are considered to be highly prestigious in nature. They're considered to be highly recognized. One is a black belt in management accounting, is the US CMA. One is black belt in US tax, which is enroll agent. And one is black belt in financial accounting, which is US CPA, certified public accountants. So these are the three qualifications what we have and what we are offering. Hopefully now I'll get the PPT. So I was doing without seeing, so I prepared a small PPT also for you all. I don't think so that's getting represented. Okay. So we'll start off with CMA first, then EA, then CPA. So what all I've spoken, I hope it's coming. Okay. So you can just, or you can give it to me. Thank you. That's fine. Thank you so much. So like you see, the CMA is a globally recognized certification offered by IMA, right? So no eligibility whatsoever like CPA or EA. CPA, you have a BCom mandatory. For CMA and EA, there is no eligibility whatsoever. If you're just a BCom first year also, you're eligible. So sir, should I write and should I enroll with Simandhar? No is the answer if you're coming here for time pass. Yes is the definite question. If you're really interested to make an impact and utilize your funds properly and your parents' funds properly. So we request you to brush up your accounting properly. And if you haven't, please ensure that you attend the basics of accounting classes for sure before you join the CMA sessions, the main sessions what we are talking about, okay? You join the IMA, enroll in the exam, you pick a review course. It can be Simandhar or anything. Need not be only Simandhar. There are so many institutes in Bangalore, so many of them who are talking about these courses. Whatever looks good, whatever feels good for you, you can join that, right? Then we have an experience requirement. You need to have 2 years of experience requirement. But to get a job, these 2 years is not required. I mean, companies only require your joining, your letter which you get once you pass. There is a congratulatory letter which IMA gives. So that letter, if you produce to your firms, you can easily get a job, okay? Then, obviously, once you meet the requirements, you become the CMA member. 360 out of 500, this is a minimum passing. Exam can be taken across 10 Prometric Center. The exam is in Bangalore. Obviously, you have the center in Bangalore itself, so you don't need to worry at all, right? You have 36 months to pass all 2 parts from the date of IMA registration. 100 MCQs you have and 2 essays which are given. 75% multiple choice. Okay, sir, what if I know I have passed the CMA exam or not? If you don't go into essays, you must understand you have failed the exam. Because you need to get 50% of MCQs right in order to move to the essays. In the exam center, if you don't get into essays, that means you have failed the exam. Okay? Like I said, there are 2 papers: Financial Planning, Performance and Analytics, Strategic Financial Management. 12th pass students can apply for the exam. You can be an active member of IMA, a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. You have the work experience of 2 years, right? And then the CMA exam, pass both part 1 and part 2 within 3 years. So these are the 5 pointers. Now the exams happen in January, February, May, June, September, October. Only 6 months the exams happen in a year. Other than that, you cannot schedule your exam. Unlike the CA exams where you're forced to write on certain days, here you are given freedom to schedule which day you want to write your exam. So it's very different from what the East follows, okay? If you fail to clear any part, then the candidate obviously need to re-register. So Jan, Feb, May, June, September, October. You have the internal controls, you have the test analytics. This is in part 1, planning, forecasting, cost management, performance management, internal control, external reporting, tech analytics. You tell me, why is parking fee 10 rupees? मैं जब भी क्वेश्चन पूछ अरे यार again this guy is forcing us to think. We just hate thinking. आना है टाइम पास करो यार बस खत्म. So like 5 minutes. What do you think? Parking, you guys park the vehicle. I don't know, at malls, no, the parking fees is very high, if you have noticed. Why like that? It can be 50 rupees, 60 rupees per hour concept, but technically, if you see hourly, the parking fees is like 10 to 20 rupees. Any logic, do you think any good? Put 2000 rupees voucher for this, okay? Yes, tell me now. Who would answer this would get 2000 rupees. Tell me guys. अम्मा पैसों से तो मोटिवेट हो रहे हैं. बोलो भाई. Oh no. What is that? Demand. Okay. Huh? More refined, you are very close to the question. What concept is that? No, but you were again very close. You were almost 80% close to the answer. But your thinking is brilliant. I'll come back once you come to it. It was outstanding answer. Very close to what I was looking for. Good concept which you can recollect. Or you can show me the math also, I'm okay with that. अच्छा मेरे को बताओ सैलून में you will see some saloons, right? 200 rupees. My time though it was 40-50 rupees. Abhi to chodo. So it's 200. How did they arrive at that cost? This is a qualification talking about. This qualification is talking about that only. To arrive at the cost. Are we all here? Everyone, are you all with me now or you're thinking about the future? Kab session hota? When this fellow will leave? I will leave very soon, don't worry. But 15-20 minutes just to think. What do you think? How did you arrive at the haircut cost? Yes. Okay, what is a fixed cost in saloons? Okay, what about others? What is a fixed cost in a saloon? Saloon में जाते से बाल कटा के आ जाते. This is passion. This is why you need to select this qualification if you were thinking like that. Yaar, if I go to saloon, why is this ACs? How is he recovering? How is this cost measured? What are these ACs for? What am I doing here? Why did I join Manipal? Is this a question or not? Why am I doing graduation? Why did I select commerce? Is that clarity required or not? 100%. You are not robos. Obviously, you should ask a question because you are in commerce, you are in a finance field. So you should think, why parking fees is this much? Why like this? When we are doing in saloon, why the cost is coming like that? How is Bitcoin measured? How is the cost of the stock is coming up? So I am not even going to the bigger things. I am to simply asking a layman question, कि parking fees कैसा arrive करे? That is a simple question I have asked. That's all. For that also I am giving 2000 rupees from Manipal. No, I'll give. Okay. Yes, what do you think, guys? Which concept deals with this? See, you enroll, not enroll is secondary. I will do my faculty session and I'll go because I'm a teacher more than a salesman. So I'm not here to sell some crap courses and I'm not come here for that for sure, okay? I'm here to change thinking. Before going, I will make everyone feel guilty that they are not thinking. This is my sankalp. This is my aim towards coming this session, okay? Now tell me, why is 10 rupees parking fees? Tell me. Okay. Yeah, I am here only. There's nothing to talk there. You can tell me. Who works in the parking lot? Like, no, I mean, it's a good question, guys. So she's telling in an expensive malls, you need to have a lot of guides. If I was in her place and I would have argued with you for 2 hours, all have laughed. I can give you 100 arguments and judgments. Right? Okay, next. What is that to recover fixed and variable cost? And who is helping you from there? Whoever is doing that is not at all fair. Acha, you tell me, if Sripal sir was, say I was working with Infosys for 4 years, and then I moved on to EY for a year, then I worked with TechM for 2-3 years, and then I left job. I was like, I had enough of this and all those stuff, and I came out of job. Now, if I am quitting job, what is a decision I should take, guys, if I'm starting my own? What would you think normally? This is a hint for finding out the parking fees, okay? अब तो बोलना पड़ेगा, बोलो भाई. No, we are not asking about how much time you're spending and not. I just want the cost calculation, that's all. How did you arrive at the cost? Yes. Very good storyteller. Some people, this will not work out in professional. You need to be direct and precise. You know what is the biggest, the scarce commodity in the world today? Can you tell me? What is the most scarce commodity in the world today? What is the most scarce commodity in the world today? Property कहते. Land and property are one and the same. एक land बोल रहा है, एक property. ये सब नहीं चलते professional. You're thinking that these people know, like whatever you will tell and it will not work out. You need to understand, you can't talk loosely like that. One is telling land, one is telling property, it's one and the same. That is known as property, plant and equipment, PP&E. Okay. Now you tell me, what is the most scarce commodity in the world? It is the attention. Why are you doing influential marketing? Why do you need to get influencers like me or say on LinkedIn? Why do you need someone to post? Someone to do a reel on Instagram? Why do you need that? Because attention is so scarce. Some people are sleeping. I need to wake them up by doing something extraordinary to catch that person's attention. It is not his fault. It is our fault that we are not doing the session effectively. And that's why they are sleeping. This gives a direct introspection to me. Sripal, you are not doing this session properly. Right. That is what it is. Because it is so difficult to get the attention of people. And that's why the entire content creators, whole day they are thinking, what should I do? I'll go to restroom and take photos. I'll go here and take photos. I'll go everywhere and take photos. They are desperately doing attempts to get the attention. And when you are working with such kind of audience, you need to be very precise in your answer. This is a moral of the story. When you go to a corporate, you cannot talk 10, 12 lines. When someone is asking a question, you need to be precise and accurate. This is what it is, this is how it is, and you're done with it. Make sense, guys? Okay, now tell me. ₹2,500. I just added 500 rupees extra to that. Madan, how many movies we can watch in 2,500 rupees in Bangalore? Assuming that there is a traffic and all. 5? See, I'm looking for the term now. That term, if you know, you will get the answer also. Yeah. कोई चैट जीपीटी आंसर भी नहीं देगा. No use. We are beyond AI. We ourselves have developed that AI thing, right? So we know what is there and what is not there. To calculate the break-even cost? See, I gave you one example or not. Suppose I leave Tech Mahindra, I did 8 years and I left my job and now I am opening my own firm. So how much I should earn minimum, everyone? If I am leaving my job, how much should I earn minimum here? What I have lost in my job, that is a minimum cost I need to recover, and that is known as opportunity cost. Did you hear about this word? Did you ever read about this? Simple यार, अपना land है, खाली land है. If I'd have rented out, I'd have got some money from that. That rental, divided by 30 days, divided by 24 hours. Per hour you will get minimum to 20 to 30 rupees. That's known as the opportunity cost. Okay, anyways, I think we are surpassing the time. So CMA subjects. So you see the prep level, external financial reporting, cost management, internal controls, planning, budgeting, forecasting, performance management, business decision analysis, enterprise risk management, decision making. All these are covered in your CMA, guys. Okay? So you can see the content area. Remembering is 30%. So sir, अगर मैं मगअप मार रहा हूँ जैसा थोड़े लोग हैं यहाँ buy closing stock to salaries tick 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 tick. Then when they go to the corporate world, clients ask, भाई ये क्यों कर रहे बोले तो I also don't know. That faculty said buy closing stock, चुपचाप break. No why, no why nothing. What they have said that you should do, put buy closing stock and your game is done. That's why such skills are also required. Because some clients will find they are okay with that, they might not ask the question. For that also you have remembering and understanding. Mug-up skills को 30% weightage दिया है. Because to apply something also you need to learn and you need to remember, right? So that's why 30% is mug-up skills. 35% to 45% is application, which I asked that question and all. It's more about application, analysis and evaluation. Sir, what all can come under remembering and understanding is basically internal controls, cost management. These are all your control areas. Okay. So see there, students and professionals. Why are we differentiating, sir? For students, the cost is different. For working professional, the cost is different. आ गए पैसे. सबसे important piece of our PPT. What is the cost, right? Is that an important element or not, guys? So see the cost, it comes to almost 1,08,197 is the CMA cost of doing the entire CMA program. Sir, do we have scholarships? Mr. Prabodh sir needs to decide if he appoints 3 to 4 people for scholarship, they get entire 1 lakh, may say almost 65,000, 60,000 gets waived off completely. If he nominates under scholarship, he needs to nominate 3 to 4 people per university. Everyone have that. He needs to talk to IMA and appoint those people or get those people, 3, 4. Prabodh, you might know about that. Typically, the college enjoys 10 scholarships. They reduced it to 5 scholarships is what I heard. But if they do well, we can even get to 10 also. With the way we are and all and with the way you teach, I mean, they can get a lot of scholarships because the quality will enhance very nicely. Right? So you might get 10 categories under that. So scholarship, guys, the entire exam fees, part fees, membership fees, everything gets waived off. Sir, what about Simandhar? Unfortunately, we don't waive off. Right? Unless it's like Zomato delivery boy or something like that, then it doesn't make sense. Okay? You'll also have a skin in the game to recover the cost. Right? So that's why there has to be some cost associated to it. If it's free, you will not give feedback. If it is costly, then you will give feedbacks. This is not good. That is not good. He doesn't come on time. he doesn't teach on time. So feedbacks is very important. For that, cost becomes a significant element. So this is the overall cost of doing CMA. Okay. Why Simandhar? I think you are the best people to tell. You should take some demo class, decide if the teacher is teaching good, this, that, and all those stuff. And that is where you need to decide. Okay. So just to let you know about Simandhar, so we use the Becker study material. We are the Becker exclusive partner. You get the Becker material, which is from the US. And you get the Simandhar software and Becker software. We have two AIs. In Simandhar, we have Digital Sripal. In Becker, we have Not AI. So all the essays have AI inbuilt in it. MCQs have MCQ video explanation and AI inbuilt in that. So you don't even need to give prompts. There are already standard prompts also that foreigner have kept. So Becker is the material which is there in the market since 80 years. So they are considered to be the top prep provider in the US for CPA and CMA. Most of the questions come directly from the Becker book itself. So we give you the physical study material, the Becker software, unlimited MCQs, unlimited essays, right? Though they tell unlimited, but it is like 700 to 600 quantity is there. So that becomes like an unlimited kind of format only, right? Then you have live classes, which we do it on weekends. Some of them we do it on weekdays. Depends on the batch size, and we keep doing it, okay? We have something called as Telegram study group, where we have all the study community joining in that group, and they ask questions 24/7. So you have CMA part 1 study group, part 2 study group. You have the job opportunities group, like we give a lot of internships as well for the people who are pursuing CMA, like with HP, DXE and all, when you are going into BCom final year or something like that. So Infosys, Wipro, all these companies come to us also. But now that we have a tie-up with Manipal, we might send those companies to them only. Okay? So these are the opportunities which we give into. We have something called a stock market group. And then we have the final group, which is known as the personality development group, which is a confession group. So what is this confession group? Boyfriend, girlfriend, job, this, that, mental depressions, all those group. That group is actually more popular than the CMA part 1, part 2 group. For some reason, I don't know what is it. I in fact saved around 60 suicides during COVID time. Because a lot of the CA dropouts, they lost their parents. And that time I understood that a teacher should be a great mentor as well. So I personally answer a lot of those confessions. Normally you can understand we handle like almost 40,000 students. So it's impossible to get in touch with each student, for me at least. But I normally answer in the confession group. All those questions are answered by me only. So they answer it, that's a unanimous group. Any of the questions, any of the issues they face in their journey, unanimously, they fill the form and then we answer it. We have something called as large group known as the 4 a.m. club. So the 4 a.m. club is for the people who wake up early morning at 4 a.m. And whoever wakes up 1 month consistently, we have one CFO assigned to him throughout his career. So some of them have won MD of Accenture, some of them Google CFO, some of them have McKinsey Finance Head. So these guys mentor them, okay? So technically the condition is you need to wake up early morning 4 a.m. consistently for 30 days, which I don't think so is very easy. Okay, so these are the benefits I've already spoken. The Prometric centers you can see, Delhi, Allahabad, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Trivandrum and Kochi. These are the Prometric centers. So these are our alumni placed at different companies. HP, Electronic Arts, Cognita, Virtusa, NoCraft, Perfios. See, that's Ankur, whom I was talking about, right? The Zomato delivery boy at Infosys, right? So we also have something called as data analytics and AI. So people who want to learn Excel, because most of these companies prefer that you have Excel and AI mandatory now. So we have something called as DA and AI also. So in case if you are going out, I don't know, I mean these are the guys who know about the latest offers. But technically if you are going for a combination, DA and AI also, you get it at a lesser price. Try to check with the team if they can give you the analytics and the AI course also, because you will learn Excel, AI and all these soft skills which are very, very important now in order to get the job. Need not be now, it can be later also. So this is what I was talking about digital Sripal, the 24/7 AI powered support, instant doubt resolution, 95% accuracy rate, and instant doubt resolution, right? And like I spoke about the pathway to US, so if you do the US CMA, then you tell like I have done the graduation, I have worked in these companies for a couple of years, you can do a master's in the US for 1 year and work in the US only for 3 years. So you get the STEM program, we are tied up with almost 12 US universities where you can opt for and do your master's. We support you in the placement, but we don't guarantee any of those things. So don't be an impression that we'll get you some jobs and all, because US is very difficult to get a job. Nevertheless, this is a pathway to the US. So these are our corporate partners. You have the KPMG, Deloitte, EY, PwC, Wipro, Infosys, BDO, Accenture. So if they would have put this session a month back, we did a big event in Hyderabad where we called all these top people CFOs. So we had a very big event. That was a good event where you could have met them physically also, their journey and all. But these are some good companies where we are tied up with. Okay. Okay. Any questions on CMA, guys? Any questions on CMA? Yeah. Any question, guys, on CMA? I thought you'll ask a lot of questions. The problem is, whichever universities I go, not just with Manipal, like I went to St. Joseph, Christ, wherever I keep talking, they'll not ask any question when I ask them. But when I'm about to leave, when the session is ended, that entire group covers me like this. 100 people will cover and they'll keep on asking questions. Problem is, when somehow I spoke to them and I wanted to understand, because this was happening with every university. Then they said, you know what, sir, I asked a question, that fellow makes fun of mine. This fellow makes fun of me. Acha, you will study CMA. Bahar aa ja tu. See, no one will judge you. It's a very, very good platform. The only thing which AI can't automate is power of speaking. It's very tough to come on the stage and talk. It's very difficult, guys. Just see that when you address people and you communicate, the most difficult thing is to stand here and talk to people. And this skill, I want you to improve. And the best thing is to ask questions. Anything on the career, on the skills, what is changing in finance world, not just with respect to qualification, please ask, because we'll not get an opportunity to interact again. And I think I can bet you on that. It's very difficult to get the time again. So you have the best time. Please ask questions. Okay? So we are going into EA, and I'll cover this quickly because it's not like CMA. There's no eligibility whatsoever. You just need to pass 3 papers. You have to get the PTIN, which is your tax identification number, to file the tax returns. So PTIN is mandatory, right? So please ensure that this is a mandatory thing. And technically, you need to prepare for 3 parts of EA. One is individual taxation, one is corporate taxation, and one is the representation before the clients. Okay? So see there, part 1, part 2, part 3. Exams happen except for March and April, entire year. The problem in this exam is it's one of the best certifications in India currently, but there are no slots. The moment slot is opened, they are behaving as if they have never written an exam in their entire life. So it's a house full, and the biggest challenge in EA is to get the slots itself. So a lot of them, before even enrolling, they're scheduling the exam first, because it's technically becoming very, very difficult to get the slots. So please ensure that in case if you are enrolling for this exam, get the slots. Go to the Promatic Test Center and schedule your slots. Okay? Part 1 deals with individual taxation, right? Your deductions, credits, income asset, preliminary work. So US follows a Robin Hood rule of taxation. Matlab, the more you earn, the more they tax, right? So that's what is the US rule. It's a progressive taxation. That's where the part 1 deals with entire individual, and Trump have reframed this, and this entire taxation is going to change, which is known as the Trump triple tax bill. I don't know if you might have heard about it, right? And Trump was telling that we should scrap this individual taxation. Luckily, he didn't scrap, neither would have been in some big time problem. And because of so much of lobbying and all, they will never change this, or they'll never remove this, at least till 50 years for sure, because if Trump can't remove that, none can remove that. So right now the individual taxation is there. So advising, preliminary work, income and assets, deductions. Part 2 deals with business, C Corp, S Corp, business entities, consideration, consolidations, and all those stuff. Part 3 is representation, filing process, practices, procedures, specific areas, and all those stuff. Okay. So you have 3.5 hours, 100 questions, 130 mark. You need to score a minimum of 105, which is similar to what in CPA and CMA it is. You need to score a minimum of 80%, right? 130 into 80 is 104. In US CMA it is 72. CPA it is 75. Sir, what about the result? You'll get the result instantly, fail. So you don't even need to speculate, talk to God, why did he do this, do that. Immediately you'll get the result. In CPA it takes 1 month to get the result. So you have speculation, you'll go to home and check whether you have written the question and answer right or wrong. So in here they are not even giving you time to even repent or even think. Straight the result, the moment you submit, the result will come. Pass or fail, they'll not even give you any time. That's what is how the EA exam is structured. Okay. All the 3 exams, CPA, CMA, EA, especially CPA and EA requires a passport. CMA just requires Aadhaar card and a secondary ID proof, your election card or something. But I would strongly request you to apply for passports, because after this qualification, you'll go for a US-based company. It will become very difficult when there comes an on-site opportunity, about traveling overseas, and you don't have your passport ready. And there are people like me who had in the 10th class Ashwin Kothari, in intermediate it is Sripal Jain, in degree it is Rajeshwari Jain instead of Usha Devi Jain. My mom's name is different. So to change that, you need to put an ad. You go to Mandal office. Then you put all these things to get the affidavit done. So please, who all have their name problem, get your documents verified and sorted. What is there in your passport should match with your education documents. Your first name, last name should not be different from what is there in your passport, folks. Okay? Is there someone like that? Their first name, last name doesn't match us? Obviously, hoping everyone has that. Okay, so see there, almost like a year you require to finish EA. Again, the entire cost of EA comes around 1,30,000. CMA is like 1,05,000. EA comes to around 1,30,000, 1,25,000 to 1,30,000. So you have $267 per part, which is equal to $810 overall for all the 3 parts, which is almost like 60,000-70,000. Okay. And then you have a PTIN fees, which is a tax identification number. Without this, you can't write an exam also. I've already spoken about Simandhar. So we follow the fast forward material, which is a popular prep material in the US. So fast forward is in the business since 60 years. Becker is there, popular in CPA, CMA. Fast forward is popular in EA. So we use their material and their software. Okay. Cool. So Prometric Center are only in Delhi, Hyderabad and Bangalore. Again, you have the pathway to US also here. Then you have the EA plus DAI and our EA alumni. So you can see them. Here you will see a lot of big fours. Our alumni are working in different big fours. In CMA, you might have seen industries. In EA, you will be seeing EYs, KPMGs, Grant Thorntons and all. Okay, because technically they require a lot of US tax people. Okay. Ideal package, like some of them have gone at 12, 13 lakhs after passing EA. So now the package is coming to around 7 to 7.5 lakhs as an average if you pass an EA. But ideally it should not go below 5 to 6 lakhs. Okay. Again, these are our corporate partners. That's all we had from EA. Okay. I think CPA we have already spoken and we have surpassed the time also. And I have surpassed my voice also. Okay. Any questions, guys? I am okay to answer any of the questions. Yes. Any questions before we dismiss today's session? Yeah. See, I did like almost 10 years I did my job, so I didn't leave it instantly because I felt that I need to have a practical experience. And I started teaching during my intermediate days only. Who all used to bunk the college, at the late night they used to come to my home and I used to teach them. So that was my passion. So I started during my days, and then when I went into CA, I used to be the paper corrector at national level. So I used to correct the CA papers also at national level. I set the CA chartered accountancy papers also at national level. So I was a paper setter also. So my inclination towards academics has happened naturally. So I took up this field because of my passion, not because I'll get something out of it, because I was getting anyways in my job a lot. That makes sense? Good, at least they're asking, yes.
Right? Like there's no specific time to like complete all 4 years and then.
No, you can write any time. So there is no eligibility, there is no requirement to complete it. So suppose you have taken it today, you might finish it off in 3 months also. So just to let you know, we had some alumni who have passed USCM in 3 months, who have passed CPA in 3 months. That's a record in the world, not just in India. So I'm talking Ritik is there on YouTube of Simandhar channel, YouTube and Instagram, 3 months when they have passed. So depends on you. You'd ideally don't expect a BCom first year to finish CMA in 3 months because it requires certain maturity. The way I've asked you questions, it will all come with maturity. Some of them can get scared. Oh my God, I don't know this, I don't know that. Why closing stock and all? But it will come with certain experience when they listen to our lectures and all. Their thinking automatically gets changed. So it requires certain time and it requires certain polishing. So technically it takes 2 years to complete CMA for a BCom first year. Some of them might still complete in 1 year as well. Okay. Yes.
So you were talking about the job opportunities, right? Is it mainly only restricted to the US or other countries as well?
So why do you want other countries?
Sir, I'm just asking in general. I wanted to know.
No, I am also asking, like, why do you want other countries? Like, what is the rationale behind other countries?
Sir, you know how difficult it is to get a job in the US. Americans only are not getting that easily. So I wanted to know whether if I do something like CMA, will it open up opportunities in other countries also?
So the idea is these qualifications have jobs in India, not otherwise around. Like you might have seen when I was talking about pathway to US, I never said them that this can guarantee a job in the US. Normally what happens, why these qualifications were also not popular, because a lot of the parents used to think these are US based qualifications, so why will they have their demand in India? But I said you that you might have heard about in the budget about GCCs. You know what is the full form of GCC? Global Capability Centers. So all these US based companies are opening their shops here in India. So the opportunities are right here in India itself. Now sir, if I want to move outside US and all, then US CMA is recognized in Australia. So they have an MOU with IPA Australia or something. Other than that, US CMA is not recognized anywhere. Right? But if it is CPA, It is recognized across all the parts. It is recognized in Europe, it is recognized in Australia, it is recognized in Singapore, Scotland, because all US-based companies are there in these countries. So US dominates. Just imagine this. Apple's market cap is more than India's GDP itself. It's a $1 trillion company. India's GDP itself is $1 trillion. So why will I leave a country which is an innovation, which is a visionary country? See, Trump might be some Tom, Dick and Harry here and there, but the country belongs to great visionaries. They are people full of creativity. So I would love to work in a country where innovation, creativity is given a lot of significantly importance is given to such things. So that's why we tend to kind of see all these countries. You see a lot of these US-based companies doing their operation. So if you do a CPA, you're recognized. Ideally what people do, they do a CMA here, then they do CPA later. And then they move on to get into all these countries. Like in London, my alumni is there, Bhuvneshwari. She works in World Bank, right? So a lot of these alumni, they're working across the world just with a CPA. But with CMA, I wouldn't want to lie you because it's a management accounting qualification. You don't require to be there across all the world. So you can be in India and do FP&A. You don't need to get there and do your attestation because it doesn't have a signing power. CPA and EA have a signing power. Okay, so that's why they are required to travel and all. Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yes.
So what skills will make my experience for CMA way easier?
What skills?
Mm-hmm.
So typically, ideally, if you do a US CMA, you cannot go in a call center job. That experience is not valid for your 2-year experience requirement, which I showed you. So the 2-year experience has to be predominantly in finance and accounting only. It cannot be other than finance and accounting. It can be in audit, it can be in FP&A, it can be in AP, AR, GL and all. So that experience is considered, okay? Second, what are the skill set? When you talk about skill set is different from experience. Skills versus experience is different. Experience can be in accounting and all. Skills can be storytelling, problem solving, critical thinking, right? So these are known as skill sets. These are all not required at CMA level. If you are good in communication also, that's okay. And if your attitude is there to learn, I think that should be more than sufficient to get an entry-level job. But to go beyond the entry-level job, you require the way you narrate your balance sheet, the way you communicate with people, the way you think. These are all becoming very, very important nowadays. And good that you have an AI skill. At least you know basic prompts, not those fancy prompts, right? So you need basic standard prompts. That should be sufficient. And Excel, obviously. And in Excel also, you should know pivot table, HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP. These are all important formulas in Excel. And that is what they ask you in the interview. That's all. Okay.
Sripal sir, I just wanted you to clarify because many students are asking, earlier we used to have this situation where a person is having a CPA license from US. Automatically the Canada CPA license is also available without any additional exams. So if you can please clarify on that.
So normally US CPA has an MOU with, like I said, Scotland, Canada, Australia, Singapore. Without writing an exam, you get the chartered accountancy of that country. But provided you have 30 months of experience and you are a licensed CPA. So I'm a licensed CPA. License means you have 150 credits, which is your 4-year BCom. Now that I've got changed to 120 from next year. So your 4-year BCom is sufficient to get the license and you need a 1 year of work experience. Once you get that, technically you get the license. Another 1 year you need to do and you can move to Canada also. So US CPA opens up doors for Canada and that's what Prabodh is asking. Does it create opportunities in Canada also? Answer is definitely yes, because you get a CPA Canada for doing nothing. Okay.
there's also AI involved in all these courses, right? So can you explain
It
a
is
little
there
bit more
in
about
part
that?
1, which is technology and analytics section
Okay.
in CMA. So part 1 deals with technology and analytics. It deals with data analytics, quantum computing, artificial intelligence. So that complete section itself deals with technology only. In CPA, we have an audit. So we have the data analytics there, and a bit of AI is there, but more on cyber security, because we think cyber security is the future, because we are all talking about ethical AI and all. So data confidentiality, data privacy, cyber security, these are cream fields. And that's why we don't do CISA, but I think after CPA or CMA, that's one good qualification which you could opt for, which is known as Certified Information System Auditor. So that's also good qualification. Okay.
Sir, after passing these exams and after doing our BCom, if we decide to do higher studies, will these exams help us in that also?
100%. CPA is recognized in Harvard. So few of my alumni are in Harvard, Stanford and all. Because like chartered accountancy is recognized in IIM Ahmedabad. You have a lot of in IIMs, you have a lot of chartered accountants in XLRI. I was there in SPJ in last week. A lot of CAs and CFS batches there. So they are considering CA, CPA, CFA all as equivalent in MBAs. So technically these are all very recognized qualifications. In fact, ACCA also have entered into partnership with IIM Mumbai. So IIM Mumbai has a postgraduate certificate in accounting or something. So they are also recognizing ACCA. So these qualifications are highly recognized in B schools. Even if you guys are doing for civils, so there is in mains, after mains you get an interview, right? So some of my students have cracked civils also. So there they ask in mains, what did you do? Because they look for differentiator. Matlab in MBA, in IIM Ahmedabad, why will I give a BCom student? Right? They want to see what all are the initiatives you have taken, what leadership skills have been there. Now she was doing a session. If I am a recruiter, I will see that she was organizing it. So that's an initiative. So it works on well for me. She can write in her resume, see I have organized an orientation session, she and herself. So these are the skill set. People look for what initiatives, what leadership strategies you take. That is the way they see all these things. So one is leadership, one is additional courses what you have done. So you can do a CMA, you can do a data analytics. These all become very, very important when you go for an MBA later in the future. Yes. So slowly they are opening up. Which is good, at least I'm there. So if you still have questions, please ask. Anything related to career or other than professional qualifications also, it's the best time to interact. If you have anything other than, need not be that, should be only to CPA, CMA or EA.
Sir, how would we benefit from doing CPA and or CMA like that, these courses? Like, sir, not actually, like, how would it, like, major roles and responsibility, like, how would it help us?
So guys, like we discussed already, a CMA or a CPA, they technically go into audit, they go into tax, they technically become the partner of that sector. So ideally you will become the partner of that firm or you'll become the CFO. That's the moral of the story. That's the benefit. In terms of recognition, in terms of money, obviously you can earn up to crores. Okay. But sir, everyone will get crores. Your experience will decide, not your qualification. Because experience can only give you an entry. I mean, qualification can only give you an entry. Experience will decide whether you will be promoted or not. Just because you are CMA or chartered accountant, should I promote you? Obviously not. Along with experience, I can promote you. So you require qualification and experience both when you are getting promoted. Okay. It's a good question. He asked like, where will I see myself working? So these are the fields: auditing, taxation, advisory, mergers and acquisition, doing IPOs, doing the transaction advisory work. These are the profiles where you get into. Okay? FP&A.
Pass this on, Ryan.
Hello. Hello, sir. It's not related to professional qualification. It's a general one. So this one, apart from doing any professional course, it might be ACCA, CMA, CPA. You just mentioned the average package is going to be 7.5 lakhs. So whatever we like, currently we are seeing the AI, ML and whatever the trend is coming. And you also mentioned that you have done the Sripal Jain and all. So everybody is relying on AI and ML. So whatever the routine task is there, it's going to go. And if I am spending my, there's a 50% of chances of passing and failing in the exam, just consider. And I have to give my 6 to 7 months or a 1 year time to this. So how that 6 lakh and 7.5 lakh justifies if somebody is doing some AI and ML the course integrated with financial modeling, any course, he might get a more package in a very good MNC. So is it really worth spending that much time in learning this or learning the new technology, whatever is there now?
Will AI and ML person tell me why the parking fees is rupees 10? Technical expertise, human judgment cannot be automated. And in this profile, human judgment is involved.
But
And wherever, like even the AI is working right or wrong, who will decide that? That's the auditor who will decide, right? So my next profession is auditing AI only. So your next job will be to audit whether digital Sripal is working efficiently or not. So what will happen with AI on a serious note, and not joking, you'll become more effective, more efficient. Your roles will evolve. So whatever the basic related work you used to do, so BCom guys were there for 3 lakh, 4 lakh people, they'll not be required. They'll be expected to move up the value chain. They'll be expected to add value to the table. So how do you add the value is obviously through your professional qualification, because the technical expertise is there in those qualifications. That technical expertise, you use it. Suppose I need to do an agentive AI, right? In say in FP&A, who will give him the analysis, which analysis he needs to do, where he needs to do, how he needs to think. That thinking has to come from me, right? And that's why I was telling the world will belong to thinkers more. The world will belong to people who ask questions more. So if you will not think, how will your AI think? You might do AI. Like that one person got hospitalized. He saw some medicines that with AI recommended him some 2-3 medicines and he got hospitalized by eating those medicines. So ethical AI, you need a professional to actually run the show also. So where judgment is involved, it becomes very difficult to automate those things. Okay.
I'd just like to add one more point to this, because I have seen 3 stages of internet and information technology. I was there when we had manual books of accounts, and there was a conversion from manual books of accounts to computerized accounts. Computers were being introduced for the first time, right? At that time, there was a fear that will computers take over human jobs? Right? At that time also we said that no, computers are not going to take over human jobs. Human beings have to get adapted to the computer technology, and we have to master that technology. That was one phase. Second phase I've seen where now we are having this AI and ChatGPT we are coming, and we are again having this fear that will AI and ChatGPT take over our jobs? AI and ChatGPT will not take over our jobs. I again repeat this. Even for my students, I tell them, AI and ChatGPT are not going to take over human jobs. The AI and ChatGPT people who are mastering AI and ChatGPT will be replacing people who do not know AI and ChatGPT. But coming to that, for a professional person, having just knowledge of AI and ChatGPT is not going to work until and unless you know the basics of your profession, whether it is a doctor, whether it is a CPA, or whether it is a lawyer. Because until and unless you know your basic concepts, AI and ChatGPT, you will not know what questions to ask and whether the answers are correct or not. You can just correct me.
I hope that clarifies. See, one can argue opportunity cost comes in the ChatGPT itself, right? You would have asked that. But who will ideate that? Who will think that? I think that's why the creative thinkers, the creators are given more importance. Okay. Yes, any other question? I know some of them are, अरे यार क्यों हाथ उठाया यार फिर 15 मिनट.
So, sir, I'm planning to pursue ACCA. I'm like thinking about it because like it's integrated with our BCom syllabus. But like, is there any kind of advantage of doing, say, CMA or CPA over ACCA?
See, I don't want to spoil the integration model. So I think along with ACCA, you can do CMA also. CMA goes well with ACCA because there are synonymous subjects. CPA anyways, you are not eligible only. So you need a BCom 4-year to complete. One thing is ACCA have UK taxation, doesn't have US taxation. So enroll agent also can be a good choice. Then reading accounting because ACCA deals with corporate accounting. You can do an enroll agent which deals with US taxation. So you have accounting and taxation both covered. So when you go to the recruiters, you already have everything taken care. You have one side US, you have one side UK. Recruiter to decide which job they want to give you. Does make sense? So it's a good combination of having an ACCA plus enroll agent would be a better choice than ACCA plus CMA as such. Because both are similar in the way they are treating it, except for ACCA have accounting subject also. CMA doesn't have accounting much. Okay.
I would like to add one more point to this. As you asked, see, ACCA is something which is going to be there at the end of your BCom, right? Your last 4 papers, you are going to write at the end of your BCom, that is 3rd year or 4th year. Now, students are, always coming out with this suggestion, ki sir, 3 years, what do we do? We have to wait for 3 years for writing the final 4 papers of ACCA, right? So in the 3 years, what can we do? Can we get an additional qualification? An additional qualification is never a disadvantage. So in the 3 years, CMA can be done about, I would say 6 to 8 months. If you are mature enough, if you start in 2nd year BCom, CMA will take you not more than 6 to 8 months. And EA will be taking you maximum around, you can say 8 months, 6 months, 8 months. Within that, you will be able to complete your EA also.
Why don't they get a slot?
Yeah. So it is easier for you to do more qualifications, get more qualified. You can see that I'm standing in front of you. I'm having a lot of qualifications. So I can go and diversify into any field, whether it is costing, taxation, audit, accounts, to the extent that I think yesterday I told you that I've got my diploma in data analytics also. So I can go into analytics whenever I want to. So if you're having multiple qualifications, there is no harm. But only thing is that you should be having the time and patience for doing those courses, right?
It's a good strategy to do multiple courses because it's a distracted world. Every now and then you're scrolling on Instagram. So better you do 1 or 2 courses. It's good to do 2, 3 courses and be busy 17, 18 hours than watching some shit on Instagram and rolling around with their all fake gyan. So I think it's better 2, 3 courses kar ke busy raho. It's a very distracted world. Need not be ACCA, CPA. You can do CISA, any of the courses which adds value, but just be busy than scrolling on phones. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. That's all from our side. Thank you.
As we bring today's orientation on US CMA, EA, and CPA programs to a close, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Sripal Jain for gracing us with his presence and sharing his inspiring journey and invaluable insights. His words have not only introduced us to the immense opportunities these global qualifications offer, but have also ignited a sense of ambition and purpose in our students. To all my fellow students, I hope this session has given you clarity and motivation to aim higher and embrace lifelong learning. Remember, success in today's world is not just about gaining knowledge, but about transforming yourselves into professionals who can adapt, innovate, and lead. On behalf of MAHE Bengaluru, I sincerely thank Mr. Sripal Jain for his time and wisdom. And I thank each one of you for your active participation, and let us carry forward the inspiration from today in our academic journey and beyond. Thank you, and wishing you all the very best in your future endeavors.